Hi guys, and welcome back to Once Upon a Chapter. I'm so sorry for the delay. I know I didn't put out an episode the last 2 weeks, but it's just because I was traveling and I put it in my head that it would be so easy to just like film it while I'm traveling, but it was actually so much harder than I thought. But because it's April now, let's just go straight into my March wrap up and my April TBR list. Okay, so while I actually felt like I haven't read that many books in March, when I went back on my Goodreads list, it's like, hold on, I actually read quite a good amount. So first off, we have the Lady of Darkness series. There's 5 books out. I only have 3 right now because I just thought I'll start with like the first 3 and then see how it goes. This series is by Melissa K. Rorich, who's one of my favorite authors because she also wrote the Legacy series, which is one of my favorite dark fantasy romance series. I can't wait for book 4. So everyone was telling me Lady of Darkness, you have to read it. It's about Scarlet and her 2 sisters who are owned by an assassin's lord. They're the most feared trio in the whole continent because anyone they kill, terrifying. But also a lot of people don't really know their identity. Job goes wrong and Scarlet, as a punishment, is sent to a noble house where she's supposed to live until she kind of like learns her lesson. She lives under the roof with some people that are horrible people. The assassin lord sends her another job assignment, and he said that if she completes that job as a reward, he will tell her about the fire prince that killed her mother in cold blood. So a lot of twists and turns. We've got a lot of different magic systems. We've got some fae, we've got some legacy. It's very interesting. There's a lot of like different kingdoms as well, but lots of twists and turns. There's also a lot of found family, which is really nice. And yeah, so like I said, book 1 and 2 I loved. It kind of felt to me like if Akatar and Throne of Glass had a little baby, it would be that. Having said that though, book 3, I started it and I liked it, but I kind of like got a bit like, it got a bit slow. It's not a good sign, but I'm still hoping that I'll just pick up and finish it. Next up, because I was kind of like in a little slump from that series, I decided that to break it up, instead of starting a new series, I'll just read a little standalone. That's where we get to Amid Clouds and Bones by Ella Fields. This book was recommended to me by so many people. It's a dark fantasy romance, which just means lots more trigger warnings. And let me tell you, this was a true enemy to lovers. I mean, there were parts in it that were dark. Talking more like gray, we're talking more like black. So this book follows Mildred, who is half human, half fairy, and she is the heir to a human kingdom. There is a war going on between the Seelie and the Unseelie kingdoms. So in order to make sure that the Seelies have a really good alliance, there's been an arranged marriage between Mildred and the Seelie prince. That arranged marriage contract has been in place since they were little kids. And let me tell you, they hated each other from the first day they met on. I mean, it gets dark. There is a lot of bullying going on. It is probably the most truest enemy to lover book I've ever read. And there's also lots of twists and turns. The magic system is quite interesting. It's funny because when I finished the book, I was like, oh, I liked it. And then I thought about it afterwards. I let it marinate and I was like, okay, wait, some of the things were just like really questionable and I still don't know how I feel about them. So while I did like this book, I also am still conflicted if I should like it. I don't know. Some people absolutely loved it. Like I said, it's a standalone. It's easy to read. If you like dark fantasy, then definitely pick it up and try it out because, like I said, I did enjoy it. So that was a standalone. Next up, we've got one of my favorite series that I've read so far. And the funniest part about it is that it's a book that literally, there's 2 books out right now, but it's a book where it's been on my shelf for so long and I just completely forgot about it until it was brought up again. And then the second book was just recently released, so that's when I was like, okay, let me just pick this up again. And the book I'm talking about is Riftborn by Parker Lennox and Bree Greenwich. I mean, this book is incredible. It was giving Fourth Wing. This book to me was like the perfect mixture of Akatar and Fourth Wing. Not because of the dragons, but just because of like the kind of like there's war happening, people are being trained for war. It just reminded me a lot about it. And it also had a slight touch of Zodiac Academy in it. This book follows Fia Riftborn, who after a rebellion was branded an outcast, but she had a very, very powerful but she had a hidden magical power that she kept a secret until one day it kind of gets out of hand and Deceit General Larik catches her. She's not supposed to have these powers, so her options now offered by him are either execution or she joins his special unit where people are trained against a new threat of shadows. So she decides to join that army unit, and from there it just gets very interesting. It is an enemy to lovers. It is found family, which we love. There's a lot of twists and turns, which is where we get to book 2, Duskbound, which right now might be one of my favorite books of all time, just because I feel like the character development in this book, and not just our FMC, but our MMC, oh my god, it is so good. And I just absolutely loved it. I think the world building, the magic system, it's honestly, to me, a 5-6 star book. I absolutely loved it. I cannot highly recommend this enough. I'm also so sad that I have to wait for book 3 now because I just love this so much. Next up, okay, I was still not ready to go back to the Lady of Darkness series, but I was so curious about the world of dark fantasy still, so I decided to pick up the Plated Prisoner series. This is a series that since the beginning of my journey of book talk, I've come across people talking about it, and I've heard so many mixed reviews, but it also feels like one of those classic series that you just have to read. So I picked it up. And it's funny because the first book I was out and I decided to listen to it on audiobook. So I read the first half on audiobook, and then I bought the book and read the second half on my Kindle. Also, I always buy the physical books, but I love the Kindle because you can just highlight everything. So Guilt, the first book, a lot of people have mixed reviews. This book is basically inspired by the King Midas mythology. If you don't know who that is, you can look it up, but King Midas basically was gifted a gold touch because he thought that, you know, gold is worth more than anything. Realized that, wait, once everything he touches turns into gold, it's actually not that good. So long story short, this book though has a dark twist on it, and in this book we follow our FMC Oren. She is completely gold. She has the gold touch, but she lives with King Midas, who they've had a long history and long journey together, but basically she is his biggest secret and she's his saddle. There's a lot of saddles in there, and saddles are basically their, you know, their objects for pleasure, I would say. She's in love with him, and he basically tells everyone that he has to gold touch, while in reality it's actually Oren. She is being kept in a gold cage though, because he treats her as his most prized possession. I mean, she's gold and she turns everything into gold. So she's been living her whole life either trying to survive on the streets or in a cage now. And while this cage is beautiful gold and it keeps her safe from everything outside that she was scared of, slowly, you know, the facade is like things are changing. And that's when we start going into the next few books. And the first book, it is a dark fantasy. It's a lot of spice. It starts out quite intense, so some people don't like it. They say just push through the first one, it gets better. But I actually really like the first one too. And what I love about the most about this series is it is 6 books, and so far every single book blows the previous book just out of the water. They're just getting better and better and better, and it does not get boring. There's so much happening in these books, and the characters and the journey and the politics, it's honestly so fun, because I feel like if I compare it to the Lady of Darkness series, which is really nice, I just feel like some of the like main characters, you get to know them and then it kind of like feels like, oh, this is finished now. Like I kind of like, I don't know, here there's so much happening still. And now that I'm starting the 6th book, I just feel like this is one of the only series that's so long where there wasn't a single book that I had to push through that felt slow. To me, I just loved every single one of them. So these are all the books I've read. I think it was like 10 books that I've read in March, which is crazy because I felt like I read 4, but then you forget when you read a series that it adds up. That was my March wrap up. And now let's go into my April TBR to see which books I'm trying to read and finish in April. Okay, so here are all the books that I want to read for April. So let's get started with Scattered Bones. This is a standalone, also dark fantasy romance. Super excited, definitely want to read that. Goldfinch is the last book in the Play-Doh Prisoner series, which I cannot wait to see the conclusion to it all. Slade, I don't know how I'm gonna get over the fact that after this that I have to just read a book where he's not in it. Psychotic Obsession. This book has been all over my book talk. It's a dark romance, but it feels a bit like a sci-fi dark romance, so I'm super excited about this. Just trying something new. Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broaden. I absolutely love this author, so I definitely want to read this book. I also heard so much good stuff about this. Nocticadia. I mean, a Carrie Lake book. Absolutely love it. Definitely want to read that. And To Bleed a Crystal Bloom by Sarah A. Parker. This is also a standalone, and trying to add a few more standalones to my list. That was also highly recommended, and I cannot wait to try this one. God of Malice. I mean, this went like all over book talk, so I'm just too curious. It's a dark romance. Still new to a lot of the dark romance ones, but Rena Kent is supposed to be an amazing author, so I'm gonna read this. So stay tuned for the reviews of all these books. I hope you guys enjoy watching, and I am so excited for my next video. I'm gonna be more consistent now. Let me know if you've read any of the books, what your opinions are, if you've read any of the books on my TBR. I cannot wait to hear you guys' opinions. Also, any more like really unhinged dark fantasy romance books, I'm down for suggestions. And if there's any other books that you think I should definitely read, then let me know. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.